Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Money Mike's here again, back with another update. And just my Friday coffee chat, if you want to call it that. I'm starting a little bit different. I'm starting on the charts today, and we'll have a look at some other things going on in the news, see how we can round off the week for Forex anyway. I mean, with crypto week is still trading to Saturday, but rounding off the week for Forex has been an interesting week. I'm still in USD short. It's been a great trade so far. We had the entry. This is all I needed to see. I gave this to all my students, so they're all in profit as well. Currently looking at the account, I think we're almost at double now. So I'm just under the £400 mark, which was kind of like the first target. You know, the first target for any challenge account is to make sure you get double the money. Now, I could trade this in different ways, and I could trade it very quickly and go with heavy lot sizes, crazy risk management. But I wanted to bring you something with integrity, guys. I wanted to bring you something that you could actually look back over the weeks or months, however long it takes me to hit this account to 10K, just to give you guys a picture of what it's like, to grow an account. And that if I can do it, then you can definitely do it with the same tools that I'm using, same tools that my students are using, and you can be able to enjoy your life and use your skill to generate your income for life. So looking at what we have with USDJPY, the price is near our first target, and my first target is these H4 lows here into this H4 demand zone. The price at the moment is moving quite slow, and there is a potential that I might decide to just close and then re-enter. What I really did want to see, which I have seen, is we had a break beneath this H4 demand zone. And if we look at the dollar index, I'm just following the dollar index, not to verbatim, but just for looking at what the price is doing. So on the dollar index, we're still short. The price is still dropping, as I was saying last time in my quick analysis. And it looks like the price will continue to drop on the US dollar and also on the dollar index, which signifies that we should be looking for some more short action on USDJPY. Now, I know there's more potential target because for me, the overall bias of USD Japanese yen in the first place is bearish because we have no market structure break. And I might recap over that in a moment. We'll see. But for me, looking at the US dollar index, price is still selling off short. So the US dollar is losing strength. How long this is going to last for, I don't know. But we're still in this critical area. We have interesting price action here, right around this region here. And so I'm intrigued to see how the price behaves when it gets around about this area. We could see some long action take place, or the price could break beneath and continue to sell off, meaning that we should see some more long action coming out from the pair. But it all really does depend on everything we have going on now. So for me, I'm holding USDJPY. Personally, I think I want to be out by 4 p.m.'s benchmarking time, because that price action in the market will be the kind of the last, real action for the day. I know the US session closes officially around about 8 o'clock GMT time, but I don't think I'm going to wait for that long. I've got other stuff to do for the day, and I don't think I'm going to hang around just to wait for a few pips. I don't think it's worth it. If there was some sort of news like some non-farm payrolls, maybe I might stick around a bit longer than 4 just to see what pans out. But I mean, even if we close now, I believe it will be a great time. We have had a good recovery. As I said, when you focus on trading, things go normally. These trades are sweet, very simple entries, nothing too difficult. If I switch back to USDJPY here, very clean entries, and I know the price is going to do more. It has a lot more price potential on it. My second entries will be from where this price action is, but my targets are here now. If we do reach the targets, we do. Again, I'm not trying to be emotional with the price whatsoever. I'm just taking it as I see it, trading like a robot. In the next update after this video, you'll probably see what would have happened, whether I hit the target or not. Now, the US session is opening up in 21 minutes for us in the UK, and then we'll have Chicago opening in an hour after. So those shifts in liquidity should push the price short, and play into that US dollar bias. I will see what happens. If the price reverses too far away back to where I am, I've locked in about 75% profit. So if I didn't mention that before, this spike right here is where I put my stop losses. And I'm expecting the price to hold, but if it doesn't hold, I mean, it's all right. We'll just close out. On the M5, just doing some micro trend analysis. We have this micro trend here, supply zone, slight liquidity pool above here. So I want to watch out to see what happens. If the body of the candle breaks above this area, then I'd be happy to just close, and I won't kill myself to go for another entry. What I will do is just look for another tight M5 entry when the price sees fit to continue going short. And we'll call it a session, because at the end of the day, this is a challenge. And the main goal right now is to get this account to double. My aim is to get it to double before the end of the Forex trading week. But in actual fact, it should be before the end of uh, the end of the week, as in Sunday. Okay, because we can still trade crypto after 10 o'clock as normal and stuff like that. And that was some great trading going on there. Didn't manage to capture as much as I wanted to, but nonetheless, it was a great scene to watch. But yeah, guys, I think ideally USD has been a great trade to carry us over to where we want to be. And I think we're going to continue in that manner with some great trades moving into next week. And yeah, let's see what happens. So let's have a recap. So on the account, I was in looking for CAD CHF to go long. The price spiked a bit lower, made these equal lows, and it's gone long. So I'm a bit of a, I think I'm gonna leave CAD CHF alone, even though the Canadian dollar to me is heavily bullish, and this should have been going long. But that's why I'm glad we came out of here. Now the risk I took on this trade was very minuscule, so I think the loss was check the account to see what the loss was. The loss was about £4.41. But as you can see here, guys, the game is very simple. If I put the profits versus the losses now, my greatest loss was on XRP, minus £18, which was silly. And the second greatest loss was on UK 100. Now, you can take a big lesson from here. I was meant to close it. This wasn't supposed to actually even happen. But what happened was I didn't close the pending because of what? Distraction again. I was meant to close the pending order after the day had finished. Okay, I don't like to keep pending orders for longer than a day on indices. That's just me personally, for my own personal reasons, but I should have closed it, and as a result, I didn't, and I got stopped out. Okay, and I lost £18. Now, this risk was more of a risk I was taking on an aggressive note, and I tried to hang in there. I should have closed roughly around about £7 to £8, but that was what I had in my mind. But I thought that the price was just playing around and it was gonna sell off, but it didn't. But then after now, it has definitely sold off. All right. USD I mean, these losses here, I mean, gold was another loss that was terrible, but it happens. But we had USD here, which was the largest loss. And to me, thinking back to it, this loss that we had here was just simply because I got emotional, because I wasn't paying attention. And even though I saw the trade now, the USD if I correlate this along here, where were we? Now, initially, you can see my markings are still here. My entry was for up here. Now, I put 0.20 round about here, I think. I put entry down here. This was on the 14th. But I had some entries up here that I kept opening and closing. So if you scroll down here, you'll see a lot of USD minus pluses, minus pluses. All of these were just me buying or trying to buy time for myself and get myself in as many entries as I can before this starts to drop. And as a result, I put multiple entries that were in and out of profit, spiking around. But all of that accumulation really did get to me. And if I was just thinking straight, which I'm being honest about, I would have never closed. I would have kept my entries I had down here. And I've ridden this all the way down. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. USD has a lot more downside potential, and I believe it's going to do more. Now, if we go for the biggest wins now, so far, the biggest win has been on gold, which I love that pair so much. We got some really good profit on there. It was a sell that was just, it was only at 210 pips. Not only in that way, but I mean, for 0.05, came out with £67, which was fantastic. We had a few CAD CHF trades from this today. So some of the bigger hitters on this, on these trades are starting to come out. I guess when I close USD probably we're going to close it even in this session, who knows? These will add to the list of some heavy hitters, compared to their account. And hopefully we should now, I do want the price to hit the target, because then that means I would have hit just about, I would say probably about £40 over the £400 target for this week. Because once you get to double, guys, then we can just repeat the same process over and over again. We don't have to risk. We don't have to be crazy. I know that you can turn a £400 account into a 10K account even in a couple of days, but I'm not trying to be the same as everybody else. I believe in what I believe in, which is number one, integrity with trading. And number two is realistic activity. I mean, yes, in the future, if you want to play around, you have the capital to, you throw £200 in an account and just do whatever happens. That's cool. But in this one, this is a slightly different challenge. It is a challenge, but it's also a learning process. And I believe that for me, the best way to ever earn is to learn. Okay. So for me, this is USD JPY. CAD CHF have been stopped out. Now I gave a call for USD CHF. My pending order is still here. So if you're looking at the account when it comes back up on a MyFXBook, we'll have a look at MyFXBook in a moment. I have a pending order here, which I'm not going to close just yet. I believe the price is going to pull back. And this is why with USD Japanese yen, I'm just really looking for my target to be hit, and then I'm ready for the price to kind of pull back. The Canadian dollar, this is why I really did want to take CAD CHF long, because I know that right now the Canadian dollar is heavily, I would say probably one of the most, out of the top 5 in my mind, I think the Canadian dollar is probably, in the top 2, or if not the top strongest currencies at the moment for 2021. And that's for a whole plethora of reasons, which is beyond the scope of this video, but we will definitely go into it in more detail. But for now, I expect USD CAD to continue to short, and I'm expecting targets all the way back down to this area right here of 1.14. Now I hope this trade hasn't gone yet. I'm really hoping that the price pulls back. At the moment, the price has just kind of hung around this low right here. Don't know if it's going to pull back or not, but I'm still going to keep my pending orders here, because I believe the price would like to do a re-entry here. If it does do so, that would be fantastic. There's a liquidity gap here, which I'm banking on the price filling before it sells off again. Now, it might not happen today. It could happen today. There may be some US news that might produce a movement of that nature, but we're going to see what the price is going to do anyway. And I expect to see some really good price action moving forward with USD CAD on the short side. And so this is why with CAD CHF, I'm expecting the price to go long. Now, to me, the price is just kind of playing around. It hasn't, the spike we had didn't take any lows as it was spiking down. It just came for this low down here. Now the price is broken back above. Now I'm not going to fall into the trap of chasing CAD CHF. I'm going to allow the price to be free to do what it needs to do. There's no point of trying to chase profit. We already had a healthy loss, and I just want to keep it that way. I don't want to get into chasing, because chasing trades, guys, is if you chase money on the market, is the easiest way to blow your account. Okay, trust me, it is, and you don't want to do that. All right. So I've given out a trade for US oil. Okay, let's see what the price does there. And I've also given out a trade today. Now, Euro TRY, I'm taking this. This is more of a, I'm not saying a fun trade in that way, like it's not a real trade, but this is more of something that is more of a test. We've had some price action here, which alludes to me that the price action should be giving us a short. And what's made me get into this trade, or want to take this trade even more, is that if I go to the H4, let me see if this one has markings. Okay. Let me just open up another Euro TRY here. So Euro TRY, for those of you who are not too sure what this is an exotic pair. Now, I barely trade exotic pairs. I've probably taken like one trade in the last year. I think that's it, Euro TRY. I've probably taken like one trade on Euro TRY this year. I haven't taken any exotic pairs. I don't trade those. The liquidity is quite thin compared to stuff like Euro USD and some of the crosses as well. So I don't see the necessity of doing so, because the liquidity is thinner. So the spread is higher, and the price action movement sometimes can be a lot more gappy. All right. So this is why I don't trade exotics at all, really. But in this case, I've seen an opportunity here. I mean, we have a large liquidity gap that hasn't been filled for a while, since the beginning of March. All right. I'm bearish on the euro anyway, but I do believe that potentially we can get the price action to be filled here. But if I just watch the price action here, this is again and not a channel. If I've said this before, this is not a channel that I'm drawing. I'm just drawing out the range of where the price is at the moment, if you want to put it that way. But it's not a trade, it's not a channel because it's just not accurately drawn. However, if I look at the price action we had here during April into May, there's a very intriguing pattern here, which is we've had a very interesting trend line, which this trend line is, it sounds crazy to say, but is way too perfect. It's a very, very perfect trend line. And we can see that the candles are within a very small and tight range and a lot of wicking going on. So to me personally, from if I was looking at this from an algorithmic standpoint, I think this is algorithmically engineered trading going on right here because the liquidity is quite low, even though the bodies of the candles are large in areas. But also looking at this, this looks like a trend line trapping a manufactured long. I believe that this long we've just experienced here, to me, is something that has been designed to lead people to get into a buy, and the price may actually sell off. Now, I've been waiting a very long time for the price action to do what it needed. I was looking at the price running this high, which it has now. And so I'm intrigued to see if this is going to actually be the sell. If the price pushes higher, I understand there's no problems with that. We just risk manage and, find a solution. But with Euro TRY, it's probably going to be like my dark horse trade, if you want to call it that. On the H4, as I said, this trend line here, I don't really trust a trend line like this. This is a way too perfect as a trend line, for it to be, to me, a trend line. And it sounds crazy because you're going to say, what is a perfect trend line? But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if you look at this price action carefully compared to other trend lines, this is inorganic to me. And so whenever the market makes a fake trend line like this, I believe the price is going to actually break this trend line and start to short. Now, it might take months for this trade to happen. As I've advised the students, we're going to put very low lot size, and we're just going to ride this down all the way to the bottom. And I believe that we could get this very soon. If it doesn't happen today, or it doesn't happen with the trade entry I've just given, that's soon going to take off, then I'm sure it's going to happen one day. But this gap, one thing I would say is that this gap will definitely be filled. It's such a large gap, and things like, there's other Euro pairs that I've seen gaps on. For example, Euro CAD, I don't think you can see it that well in Hugo's way, but on IC Markets, for example, another broker I trade with, shout out to them. With IC Markets, you can actually see a gap on EuroCAD, which is quite large. And maybe I'll switch over the charts and open up IC Markets too for you guys to see that before I leave. It has a gap that hasn't been filled for 11 years on the downside. And it's roughly around about 1.25. Yeah, €1 or €1 giving you 1.25 on the Canadian dollar. And EuroCAD, the Canadian dollar is already heavily strong. So it makes sense for the euro, which I'm bearish on for many different factors. If that short plays out, that would be one sort of short that we haven't seen for a very long time. And I'd be very happy with that. So, I mean, what is the potential of this? So my aim is to get about a 0.05 on here with some good entry and risk management in place. And if we get a 0.05 and this goes to the target, my aim is to get an initial entry and then try to get at least 3 or 4 entries with effectively zero risk on the way down if this does drop the way it's supposed to. And this should give about £2,000 because I'm trading on a pound account. And that'll be a fantastic swing trade. Now, it might take a few months to happen. I don't really mind, but this is just more of something that I want to play with and see what, not play with in the sense that, as again, I'm playing around, but something that I want to experiment or dive into with good technical analysis and reasoning for why I'm looking at the price. Now, I think what I would do is I'm going to pull up IC Markets in a moment and I'll show you the liquidity gap on the EuroCAD. And just my thoughts. I mean, EuroCAD as well, and the euro in general as to where we are. President Lagarde has been speaking a lot. There are many concerns for the euro. I believe that the European Union is probably the most dynamic and complex structure out of any continent in the world. And I say that because of especially when it comes to their banking system and certain laws, there are very interesting dynamics that you only see in the European Union and nowhere else. But, at the moment, European Central Bank still has interest rates at 0%. Margin deposit rate is still the same. So I believe right now, for everything that's going on with the euro, and we'll discuss the euro in more detail later on again, I believe that there is an opportunity here for a major short on EuroCAD because I believe the Canadian dollar is about to show us some strength it hasn't shown for many, many, many years. And even when I think about CAD CHF has dropped to the lowest point it's ever been in history. And so I believe that if the Canadian dollar can recover like that, we could see some major good activity. So let me see if I can switch this over for you guys. And let's have a look at EuroCAD on IC markets. I'll quickly map that out for you guys to see what I'm talking about. And yeah, let's switch over here. Switch my screen over. Let's look at IC markets and see. All right, guys. So on IC markets, it's very quick. But if you guys can see here, now the bias, if I was to do some analysis here very quickly, we have a very simple price action movement here. So if I drop an A right here, market harmonics, here's the A. So we have some algorithmic structures of price action moving above this level anyway, which is a good indication of what the price would want to do on the short side. And if you zoom into lower timeframes, you can see that in more detail, which is not for this video. But we have the A swing, we have the B swing here. All right. And then we've had a recent swing here about C. Okay. Now, I don't use a retail Fibonacci. I use a very different style of Fibonacci. It's an institutional one, which is based on the money of price instead of the pattern of price, if I put it this way. So for us, my students will know this. The price has reached around to OTE, which is an important level for us. And the price has shorted off and we're below equilibrium at the moment, which is important for how we would see moving forward with the price. So below the 50% level, equilibrium is 50%. Now, for me, if you guys look at this structure, we have a very bearish structure from the higher monthly time frame, which suggests to me that we have a bearish euro long term. Now, of course, there are going to be longs and shorts, and don't get me wrong, we could actually have a very heavy long next week on EuroCAD. But if I just want to direct your attention down here, so you guys can see what I was talking about, roughly around about 1.25. And I remember this gap price area because I'm so poised on getting into this short. But you can see there's a liquidity gap here. We have an A to B swing, and therefore the expectation in the long run may not be now, maybe in the future, it could be any time from now. You know, the market can drop, 2,300 pips, which is roughly what it would be at any time. If there's strong enough news on both sides or on one side, we could see a massive drop here. So 2,341 pips to be exact, or 2,341.0, okay, would fill this gap. So this gap will get filled. And it's funny that we have a very interesting dynamic of a very weak euro and a weakening euro and a very strong and exponentially stronger Canadian dollar, which should push this short down. So for me, watch out for EuroCAD, guys. That's my suggestion. I think this is a major opportunity, guys, that you can capture. And I believe for those of you who are not involved in trading, this might not be making that much sense, but the best way to keep it is that there is a great opportunity to make money, okay? Looking on EuroCAD, for those of you who are traders, technical, fundamental, it's an interesting opportunity, and I hope this is food for thought for us. Now, let's have a look at what we've got going on with the rest of the market. I'm going to pull up FX Street. Let's see what we have for the news today, get a daily update going, and then after we can call it a session. We'll look at MyFXBook as well, see what's going on there, and then we can just end it off on a happy note. So let's switch over. Right now, guys, I think the weather is really bad for me, I'm from London. The weather is really bad right now. So if you hear ghostly sounds of wind in the background, it's because the weather is crazy right now. Right now it's raining and then it's windy. I don't think the weather can make up its mind. Now, for those of you who know about the UK's weather, it's notorious for being rubbish. So what can we say? We just have to keep on riding, and hopefully the price would not be like our weather in the UK and it stays stable. Anyway, I'm playing around. So let me switch over to this and let's have a look at what we've got going on for today. Okay. All right. So I wanted to bring your attention to this now. Looking at what we've got going on here. Okay. Now, the weather is bad right now, guys. So if this is loading on your screen or something, I'm very sorry. This is just because we have some crazy weather going on, which I think is making the signal quite weak. So apologies for that, guys. The weather will get better for sure, but for now, it's really, really bad, very, very strongly windy. And I hope it ends soon. Okay. But anyway, what we have going on at the moment, if I pull up this economic calendar now, it's still loading again due to what I said. But for the moment, if we're looking at what we have here, economic calendar, we have a speech from President Lagarde. According to this, we have the speech right now. Okay. So currently the speech is going on. I'll be listening to this speech after the video just to hear what she's saying. Now, it's interesting. I haven't really seen a speech from President Lagarde on a Friday like this, but for the first time, we are actually having one, or first time in a long while. And then at 1:30, we have Canadian retail sales, which should move the Canadian dollar to a certain degree. So I'm expecting some price action there. And then we have European news coming out at 3 o'clock. So we have quite a bit of news coming out. Now, for me, whenever I'm trading, no matter, I'm not a fundamentals trader primarily, I'm a technical trader. I believe that technicals show you, from my understanding and philosophy, the market is manipulated to begin with as a foundation. And so whatever they're going to say in the news, they knew they were going to say it before they said it. And therefore, the price action on technicals moves before the fundamentals into positions for them to carry out what the fundamentals mean on the market. Okay. So for me, President Lagarde's speech right now, see if we can find out what's going on, see what she says. Into 1:30 again, as I said, we have retail sales for the month of March. We have a few pieces of news at 2:45 into 3 o'clock. But for me, as I said again, with USD JPY, I mean, I may not even stay in for these news pieces. Maybe these news pieces might give us the last few pips we need to hit the target. We'll see. But really and truly, I want to be out by 4 o'clock. I don't think I'm going to wait till the 8 o'clock time. I don't think it's necessary to do. It just wouldn't be out of USD JPY. I don't want to stay around the charts on a Friday for too long. I don't even really like to trade on Friday, if I be honest with you. I like to be done by Thursday, or on Friday if I'm in trade still. It's just more really because I want to just capitalize on a move that specifically is going to happen. So for me, I prefer to just get out when it's time to get out. And you never know. If you check the account, you might see that I've gotten out and probably re-entered later on. Who knows? Okay, but this is where we are right now. So I really want to see what this speech is going to hold. I believe you can watch this speech. Yeah, I'm sure we could watch this speech on through the ECB website. See if we can find it. If not, it's fine. And we'll take it from there. All right, let's have a look. So I'm pulling up my MyFXBook. I'm going to go to my portfolio here. Click on the 10K challenge account. Let's round off and see what's going on here. All right. British weather is really, really bad. It's making everything so slow. So can't even do anything. All right. I really hate stormy weather, man. Really, really do. Especially when I'm in it or I'm going on my way to the gym or something. All right, so here we go. Finally, the Hugo's Way has, or we've had an update, okay? So far this is saying we're roughly around about 37% gain, all right, which is not so bad. I guess it was last track, so right now we're getting back to the highs, so we're getting back close to the highs that we had in terms of equity right here. So right now we're at 81%, so we're just above where we were. So this short burst in the beginning, I wish I sustained it because then I guess it will be higher. But this is how trading looks, guys. If you look at the chart, guys, we had a initial very good spike, and you could call that like beginner's luck if you want to call it that, even though it wasn't, because I'm not a beginner. And then we had this downside where things look bleak. I remember when the account got down to about 161 in floating equity, and I was just like, oh man, what am I doing? I need to wake up and focus. All right. And then after, when I said let's wake up and focus, we came back, smashed it again, 30%. Currently, equity is around about 81% now. So I'm even better than where I was from where I started. And I just really wanted to see here that all the differences, guys, from this low point to the high point, which is an important point for trading, is not really my trading ability. From the May 12th to May 21st, I don't think I've done any substantial learning. The only thing I've done in between this time from the 21st to from the 12th to the 21st. So from 1-2 to 2-1, all right, it's just changed my mindset. As soon as you flip your mindset, you'll notice that your account will start to grow from the low to the high, providing you have the correct trading knowledge as well. If you don't have the correct trading knowledge, you can have the strongest mind in the world, but it's not going to help you. Okay. So I believe that, looking at these beautiful results, I haven't done anything crazy. I'm not being emotional about the price. We've had a fantastic period of time. Now, the drawdown isn't that great. It's at 34%. But I guess over time, as more wins come in, this will start to lower down, right? But we've had a great time. The growth is we've had a healthy piece of growth. So -9%. My aim is never to go between to -10. -10% is too low. I want to keep it about 9. So we had 30% on May 19th, and now we're at 37. And I believe this is set to continue. So as again, for integrity, guys, the results are before your eyes. So that, there's many people that say that they make money from trading and then they just show you the active trades they're in, but they don't even close it in profit. Or sometimes they just, come up with things that are, they try to show you trades that they've taken in the past, but they don't have any active results. So I took the time to do this. Okay. I was a person that did that myself, not because I was hiding, but in my mind, I was just making the money. So I didn't really think about that. But we live in an age where a lot of people like to lie. So it's good to come out with integrity and speak the truth. And so here's the account before your eyes. I can't change this. This is public. So I can't make this stuff up. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That was all for today. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your family. Okay. I'll be back with another video and I'll catch you guys later. Be blessed and take care.